adopt this philosophy basically. If we're going to fight, let's fight up front. Let's fight now. Before money has changed hands, before we've gotten weeks down the road and are committed to this thing and now we're on each other's nerves. This is Jason Kanigan, president of Sales on Fire. We're going to talk about a serious error today that a lot of people make, and I made it. I make it once in a while, particularly with referrals. Let's hear what it is that costs you problems later on. Have you ever had to fire a client? Does that just give you the willies, the whole idea of firing a client? Okay, I'm going to give you a preventative method for dealing with that. Prevention's better than the cure, folks. Okay, so you want to apply this. And every time I failed to apply it, it's come back and bit me in the butt. Okay, so let's do this. When you have a prospect and you are getting very, very, very close to the sale, very close. In fact, you've actually already made the sale. You just haven't officially shaken their hand and welcomed them on board as a client yet. They're still a prospect. This is when to apply this thing, okay? And remember, as the salesperson, which you are, I don't care if you're the company president or some techie or something like that. If you're going and getting sales, you're the salesperson, okay? Get into this mentality. You have all the power. You have 100% choice about whether you accept this client or not. They don't get to move from being a prospect to being a client or a customer unless you allow them to. Will you let them? Well, here's a little thing to put in, a filter to put in between, okay? It's an upfront contract that you're going to go over point by point with your prospect that's about to become a client or a customer, and you're going to find out, do they agree with this or not? Do they want to add in stuff of their own? And you're going to adopt this philosophy basically. If we're going to fight, let's fight up front. Let's fight now. Before money has changed hands, before we've gotten weeks down the road and are committed to this thing and now we're on each other's nerves, right? So again, remember this phrase, good fences make good neighbors? That's what we're going to do here, okay? So as time goes on, it's going to be easier for you to have this list and kind of add things to it as you go, because you're going to have your client from hell. If you haven't yet, good luck. You're going to experience it. It's going to color the rest of your life, okay? You're going to go, I never, ever, ever. I don't care how much money they're paying, and you really mean it. You don't care, because you can always go get the money somewhere else. I don't care how much money they're paying. I never want a client like this again. That's your client from hell. And they will say and do things that you will recognize later on. Some prospect will say something, do something, and it'll be like, ding, 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 uh-oh, client from hell warning. That's exactly what the client from hell said or did. What do? Okay, this is where you apply this upfront contract. Okay, you've made the sale, you're about to shake hands. Just say, look, I appreciate it, it's going to be awesome. Just before we get started, I want to go over a few things about how I do what I do and check in with you on them. Let's go over them and make sure that we agree on it. If we have to change anything, you might have stuff that you want to add to this. Sound good? That way we don't have any confusion or frustration down the road. And like I said, every time that I have bypassed this, it's come back to bite me. So use it. Don't do what amateur people do and try and sweep things under the rug. Well, I heard them say and do three things that sounded like my client from hell, but I'm going to try and sweep that under the rug because I really want this order. It's going to hurt you. No amount of money is worth this. No amount of money is worth the pain and suffering caused by a bad client.
No reward is worth this.
Going to hurt you later on. So I've given you when to say it, I've given you what to say. If you need to go back and listen to me again and write it down, go do that. Okay, I've given you a little script to say. Now if they look surprised, reiterate, look, we don't want confusion down the road. There's a saying that I want to burn into your brain. If I can succeed at this, I will have succeeded at something. Okay? If you haven't told someone they can't do something, can you get mad at them when they do it? If you didn't tell them they couldn't do it, is it fair to get mad at them when they do it? No. All responsibility for the conditions of the sale rely on you. They rest on you, the salesperson. It's up to you. It's your responsibility. Not to sweep things under the rug and hope that nobody will ever talk about them, but to actually bring these out into the sunlight. And if we're going to fight, let's fight now. If we're going to find out we're not a fit, let's find out now. That's fine. A lot of this has to do with personality fit. But again, simply telling someone, I check my email twice a day, 10 a.m., 4 p.m. Do not expect an instant response from me because you're not going to get it. That's how you work. I've had people email me at 2 a.m. and want a response. That's crazy. Okay, I'm up half the time anyway, but still. Expectations, right? You can lay this out now. And if it's not acceptable to them, then they need to move on, and so do you. And that's fine. Because again, you don't want another client from hell. You don't. It's better to move on. Let's find out now. Then fight later. So you go through your list. Now do not write this down, put it in a PDF and email to them, and they will never read the thing. You need to sit down and go over it line by line with them. It should take you like 10 minutes or less, 5 minutes maybe. There probably isn't that much on the list, right? Things that would really upset me. There's not that much, okay? But if you're, for example, your process, part of your process as a creative person, let's say, is I get my input from the client, and then I bugger off for 3 or 4 days and I think about it. And the client doesn't know or care or value about this thinking time. Trust me, they don't care. But it's absolutely necessary for stuff to gel for creatives. I know this. I need it. But if you don't tell them that up front, maybe they're going to be on your case every day with a micromanaging approach of where's an update, what's an update, right? That's going to drive you nuts if you're that kind of person, a creative kind of person. So lay it out for them. So go through your list, point by point, explain it, ask, is this okay, get clarification, figure out the scope of work of the project and how you're going to do it, and tell them and get their agreement on it. If they don't agree, then you're going to have to part ways, but it's way better to do it now than it is later. They may want to add things on their own at the end, and that's fine. And it's up to you as well to decide whether you accept or reject these things. And it's fine to reject. Again, no is not bad. No, I don't want to sell to you is not bad. It's safety. It's keeping you sane. It's keeping you away from those clients from hell that can wreck your business in a hurry. So don't leave this stuff buried under the rug. Don't leave it to chance. When I get referrals, I often forget to do this or just drop it because I know the person who gave me the referral. I know birds of a feather flock together. And so I assume incorrectly a lot of the time that that person's going to be like my past client, my referral source. People are not identical clones. That's what I'm trying to say here. So even if your past referral is a great person and is very understanding and whatnot, and they hang around someone who has similar characteristics, they're not identical characteristics. And so this is why it's so important to go through these things and find out whether it's a fit or not. Now, let's say you go through the project and they violate these rules that you've agreed on about how your relationship and behavior is going to be. Now you have grounds to say, look, we went over this stuff at the beginning, right? I don't accept abuse, let's say, right? In the form of emails or phone calls or voicemails or something like that. And so I'm going to delete you as a client. I have the right to do that because we agreed that you weren't going to do this. Okay? Or if they send you an email at 3 in the afternoon, you don't check till 4 and they're mad at you, you get 6 emails before 4 o'clock going, where are you? Why haven't you answered? What's the deal, right? Then you can point back at the upfront contract where, hey, we sat down, Tom, and agreed that I check my emails twice a day and I'll get back to you within 24 hours after those points, right? Oh yeah, if they want to change something or if they don't find it acceptable, well, that's something you got to deal with at that point, but at least you set it up front. You're not the bad guy. You're not screwing up. You're not failing to deliver in that situation because you already got agreement on it. Okay? So, I hope you never have to fire a client. It's rare for me, but it is almost always because of these failures to introduce an upfront contract into the conversation early on, right before the sale is about to be confirmed. So I encourage you to use this all the time, every time. Don't be like me and get soft about it and forget about it from time to time. Use this upfront contract religiously. Use it consistently. Have it written out on a piece of paper that you take in with you. That's fine, and refer to it. But don't just hand them the paper and say, here, read this. Go over it with them point by point so that they understand. And this will not upset competent business people. They will agree. They will like it. They will say, here's a person who has obviously worked with a lot of people, and they like to know that there's a consistent process here. They like to know that this has been done before, that they're not first. Oh, heaven help you if you're trying to get someone on board to be first for something. That's almost impossible. And so it confirms to them and gives them a nice warm feeling in the center of their chest that everything's going to be good. So make use of this upfront contract. This is Jason Kanigan from Sales on Fire, helping to protect you in business. Thanks for watching.